A life-threatening medical emergency can strike without warning, changing everything in an instant. Lindsay Buckingham brings us the remarkable story of survival, determination, and hope after a Chesterland woman suffered a brain aneurysm and lived to tell about it.
When 39-year-old Julianne Smith needs a moment to reflect,
I usually sit here.
she knows exactly where to go.
Sometimes, I just come out here and pray.
Often joined by the family dog Lincoln, comforted by the calm water in her pond and her deep faith. Turning the pages of her book looks easy, but this chapter in Julianne's story has been the most challenging of her life.
I was on a conference call and received a call from our youngest daughter. Tells me, hey, Mom passed out, what do I do?
It was January 5th of this year. Julianne was home with two of her three daughters, 10-year-old Landry.
She was slurring her words and all of her speeches.
And 13-year-old Jamison.
She got really lightheaded.
Knew something was wrong.
So I called 911 and they beat us here. I said, are you okay? And she's like, well, I just having a really bad headache. And she's holding her head. And I'll never forget it. It was like the most horrible scream I've ever heard.
A doctor at Cleveland Clinic Hillcrest Hospital knew time was not on Julianne's side.
She said, a helicopter just landed, a life flight just landed, so they're going to take her right now.
And into surgery at main campus. Julianne had a grade 5 aneurysm, the worst of its kind.
She was in very bad shape when she got to the hospital. About a third of people don't even make it to the hospital with a ruptured aneurysm.
Dr. Nina Moore is a neurosurgeon at Cleveland Clinic. She says Julianne's situation was dire.
She was having such severe brain swelling, despite having the drainage tubes, that we needed to take the bone off the side of her brain in order to let the brain swell outwards.
Without this surgery,
she wouldn't have survived it.
The waiting game, agonizing.
What was it like when you finally got to see Julianne?
It was hard. You know, she was intubated. She had tubes coming out everywhere. I didn't know what half these machines were. They had so many nurses in there because she was in the ICU area. It was hard.
With Julianne on a ventilator for the next 2 weeks, her husband Mike tried to come to terms with his world being flipped upside down.
We really didn't understand how this happened. So this just completely came out of the blue. And we just kind of waited, and then it was just a day by day at that point. Actually, really hour by hour.
Wondering if Julianne would pull through, or if she'd ever be the same.
What kind of conditions? Like, will she be in a wheelchair? Will she be able to walk?
Up, look up. Yes. That
You're doing amazing.
Is how it's done.
Julianne had the answer.
When they told me what had happened to me, I remember my neurosurgeon being there. I was in complete shock.
Not only did you start recovering, but you fought hard.
I did. And I do remember at one point looking at the therapist and telling them, I have a lot to live for. I am determined to get better.
And she did, though the work was incredibly hard.
I had some really, really dark days. So many people were praying for me, and I feel like that's what got me through.
Her family in awe of her determination and strength.
She would tell me quietly, I'm really tired, but they would come in and she's like, I can do this, and she would do it.
I'm very proud of her and what she's accomplished and where she was and how quickly and well she recovered.
Julianne's return to normal life is a miracle. But the true gift, she says, is the love. Shown by the healthcare heroes who saved her life and the community who never gave up on her.
I mean, the outpouring kindness of people, it was so humbling. When the accident happened, it was a very crazy time in our lives with schedules and juggling everything. It's easy to get lost in that. But I feel like this shook us and brought us right back to center on what matters, your family and your faith.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
Julianne says she has no family history of brain aneurysms, but because of her life-changing situation, some of her siblings did get checked out.
Yeah, a scan of her youngest sister's brain revealed a minor aneurysm. So part of Julianne's miracle is the fact that she's actually saving the lives of her loved ones as well. Incredible story, Lindsay. Thank you.